what the hell is going to happen on Wednesday, man? Like, as it gets closer and closer, I am just getting more nervous, and more nervous. Like a week ago, I was sitting there being like, you know what? I'm actually super confident for this game. I think Spurs can do the job. But as it's getting closer, I'm getting more and more nervous. I just don't know which way this is going to go.
Someone posted a montage of all the finals we've lost recently. I know we saw a video on social media.
There's no chance I'll be watching that.
He's literally he's just a montage of like all our players like sadly walking past these trophies as we lose yet another final. And I was just watching that thinking, why am I so confident going to this game? I should really have PTSD from all these finals, honestly. I think most of the fan base do. But I think obviously we have so much baggage going into this final. We've been let down so many times. It's hard to believe that we live in a world where that might not happen on Wednesday. But, Palace would have said the same thing yesterday. Newcastle would have said the same thing before their game against Liverpool. And they're just, as I said, there seems to be something in the air this year.
There is, and look, as I said, however
breathing
confident
in.
I was in the past week, I'm trying to envisage Spurs lifting that trophy, being there, Spurs lifting the trophy, and then Spurs being on a parade down Tottenham High Road. I literally just can't picture it in my head.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Because it's just like, because we haven't been there for so long. In my lifetime, I don't think Spurs have done trophy parades. Well, I was born in 89 and they did one in 91, so you can pretty much say in my lifetime. So I've never actually witnessed it with my eyes. We haven't won a trophy of this magnitude since 1984. So however much I think Spurs are going to go there and do the job, I just can't visualize it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, because you've never seen it. So you can't visualize things you can't. Our brains are predictive in that sense. They imagine a lot of things that, like when you dream about people, even though you think they're random, they're always people you've seen before, even though if you're passing through or something. So but you've never seen Tottenham lift a European trophy, so you can't dream about it just yet.
But I've seen the pictures. I've
seen
the
pictures, yeah. Oh, God. Imagine Sonny lifting that trophy. Everyone singing I'm Loving Big Ange instead.
We just need to manifest it, people. We just need to manifest it. I've been trying to manifest it all week with, I put up a tweet with myself holding the UEFA Cup trophy. I've been laying into Gooners online as well, which has always been fun. I sent out a tweet yesterday which actually went mad. I don't think people knew I was being sarcastic at one point, but what was the tweet yesterday? Talking about the Crystal Palace game. And I said, where is it? I said, Crystal Palace in the Europa League next season, something's seriously wrong with the rules. It's a complete joke. And people were taking it as like I actually meant it.
It's like, well, you're 16, 17, don't you know who you'd support? It's like, yeah, that's the point, mate. God, it goes over everyone's head, these things.
It really did. But look, there's just so many different, little bits going into this game. Like I mentioned before, like Spurs haven't won the trophy since 2017. All these teams breaking their trophy duck, whether it be Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Harry Kane winning his first trophy of his career as well. Bologna out in Italy winning their first trophy. And you've got the player things with Casemiro never losing a final. He's a proper winner. You know what I mean? If you want someone on your final, in a final team, he's definitely one of them. You've got Cuti Romero, who's never lost a final in his career as well. You've got Andre Onana, their goalkeeper, who's never won a final in his career. And look, I'm sure you've got James Maddison. I'm sure he's probably won every final he's been in, probably the only final.
Well, for Leicester, yeah.
Well, he's not even playing, so I don't even know why I said it. But there are all these like different kind of narratives going into it and omens going into it. Does this make any sort of bearing in the final, or are they just like fun to talk about before the final?
I think most of it is just fun to talk about. I don't think it has a bearing, but I think when it comes to seeing teams like Newcastle and Palace break their trophy droughts, I do think it will give that team just a little bit of belief that why can't that be us? We've just seen two other teams do it. Two other teams who have very, very long trophy droughts. Two other teams
longer than us,
and who played better teams than we did. To break them, Liverpool and Man City, and they're now given their fan bases unbelievable joy and happiness, which they've never haven't experienced. And has been drumming into this team. We've seen in the team talks, you could be the players to do it. You could be the players to break this trophy drought. All these other players, managers who've come in and out and not won trophies, for one reason or another, all these world-class players like Kane and managers like Mourinho and Conte have come in here and not won the trophies, but you could be the set of players that break the duck, break the spell. And I think watching teams like Newcastle and Palace do it in the lead up to us facing it, I think I'm not saying it'll be a massive difference. I just think they'll look at that and think, if that could be us.
Because we've beaten Manchester United 3 times this season, do you think that gives the players more confidence going into this game? Because Ange was asked that in a press conference I think last week, and he said, that's got no bearing. This is a one-off game. Finals are very reliant on moments and stuff like that. It's about who wants it. He didn't say that, but it is about who wants it more on the day. And I genuinely believe Spurs are going to want it more on the day. And I feel like a lot of these Man United players have been there, they've done it, they've won a lot bigger trophies than the Europa League, they've got Champions League winners in that team, where Spurs, they're a very young team, just coming together, and this is probably, Son called it the biggest day of his life, what I mean? Not many of those Man United players are going to call this the biggest day of their life, with
100%.
Playing for Manchester United. So in my opinion, I think the Spurs players are going to want it more, I think the fans are going to want it more, a lot more, the fans. That's surely got to have a big impact in this game.
I think so, and you saw when even as those two kind of cup finals I mentioned, Newcastle and Palace, especially the Newcastle one, you just saw they just wanted it more, and how much of a difference that it made. You elevated their performance. They were so much better than Liverpool on the day, and they just. Even look at the evidence of when we played Chelsea in the Carabao when we won. Like, Chelsea were a far better team than us back then. Back in 08, they were challenging for titles. That year they got to a Champions League final. But on the day, we just wanted it a little bit more. And it elevated the performance, and they got the best out of everyone. And I feel like Wednesday could be something similar. Obviously, it's slightly different because for Man United in terms of, not in terms of the magnitude of the trophy, but just in terms of how much they need this trophy right now with the position they're in the league. That could lead to them also really wanting it, in a sense that obviously winning Europa League is not a big deal, but getting in the Champions League and getting that money to rebuild the squad, and how much of this is like a sliding doors moment for them. That could lead them as well to kind of wanting it just as much as Tottenham. But I think the fact that Tottenham don't just want all those things, they also are just desperate to get that trophy drought over, done and dusted, and have that over and done with. And I think the fact that all the players as well, it's been very clear the whole season we've been talking about this. We've been talking about this day. Cup final, winning a trophy for this team. Beginning of the season, all the players did their interviews beginning of the season, what do you want to achieve this season? Win a trophy is what they all said, pretty much. They all said they want to win it. They didn't say top 4 or anything. They all said we want to win a trophy. And I think the whole season for us has been gearing to this moment, whereas for Man United, this is just a kind of something, it's a happy circumstance there in a final kind of thing, where the season's been terrible, but they just happen to find themselves in a final off the back of it. For us, I feel like this whole season's been gearing towards this.
Do you feel like that could work both ways though? Like, it could work in a way where, on the day they want it really well, they want it so much that they play out of their skin. But then there's another situation to say that you're so desperate for it, you can kind of shit the bed.
Yeah. 100%, and that's obviously how bottling. That's called bottling it, and we are not unfamiliar.
We don't have that Spursy tag for no reason.
We're not unfamiliar with a bottle, put it that way. So of course, there's definitely, and especially as well, at the end of the day, apart from Romero, you are dealing with a lot of players who are not very experienced in this kind of scenario. So when it comes to big finals, big games, we don't know which players are going to clamp up, which players are going to play within themselves, and which players are going to thrive in that scenario, because we just haven't seen a lot of these players in these scenarios. So obviously it's going to be a bit of a guessing game when it comes to that, but 100% there might be players who, when it comes to the big occasion, we've also seen this season, when we go to a lot of the time away grounds, maybe not in the Europa League, but obviously in the Premier League, we've gone to away grounds, loud away grounds, who, the fans get on top of you, and we bottle it and we shrink.
Like Frankfurt.
I'm not saying in Europa League it hasn't happened, but I'm saying a lot, in the Premier League it has a lot. A Carabao Cup, obviously in the second leg it happened. So we are a team that has that ability, that has the we know we've got that in us to do that.
But you know what? Like there's been a different sense around Tottenham in the Premier League and particularly the latter stages of this Europa League tournament, right? And what gives me a bit of confidence going into this final is the way we've handled the situation out in Frankfurt, out in Bodo, where both of them were big banana skins, weren't they? You know, Frankfurt had the whole narrative about we're not going to be able to handle the occasion, the stadium, the atmosphere. Frankfurt are obviously a very good team. They finished third in the Bundesliga. Bodo, everyone was saying it was a massive banana skin as well, the way they are at home, the record that they've had at home in Europe and everything like that. And we handled both. I wouldn't say we have no problems at all, but we just handled it really well, as best as we could have done, probably. You know, we go there, both stadiums, we don't concede a goal, we get the job done. And yeah, I get what you're saying in terms of handling, like in Galatasaray earlier on in the tournament and away games all season in the Premier League. But those two games, very recent games, do give me that kind of confidence that we can take that kind of element to our game to the final.
Absolutely. And I think how calm we were was the most impressive thing. We didn't panic. We didn't make mistakes. We didn't shit the bed. We were calm and composed, and we stuck to the game plan. We played our game. I think in those scenarios, I think players like Romero, Bentancur, Basuma, experienced players really stepping up for us in a crucial time, leading the team, making sure everyone's doing their job. We know Romero, he's won these finals before. He knows it doesn't get much bigger than a World Cup, and doesn't get much bigger than a World Cup and a Copa America final. And not only did he do that, but he played in those finals and shone. And he was brilliant in those finals for Argentina. Helped them get over the line, and he knows what it takes. And I think in the lead up into this Europa League final, I think in these performances, the defence has been fantastic. It's something that we've criticised. A lot of criticism has come in for our back line, but Vicario van der Ven, Romero, Udogie and Porro have all been outstanding in this run-up to the Europa League final. They've probably been the shining lights more than anything, that back line. And I think that's why he has completely left them out in the lead-up to this. He just can't afford to lose any piece of that back line. He needs them all fit, all playing as well as they have been. And I think the way we have dealt with those hard occasions, which are the teams previously might have bottled, or even this team on a different occasion might have bottled. I think the calmness, the composure, the ability to stick to the plan and pull it off to a T as well, that was probably the most impressive thing. And I think if we have that kind of attitude going to the final, bring that same kind of composure into the final, I think we've got a great chance.
I agree. But I think Spurs fans will be coming into this thinking on the back of those two ties against Frankfurt and Bodo that Spurs can definitely go out there and do the job. But then again, Manchester United in their own right will be saying, look, we're Manchester United. We've won trophies in the last 2 years. You guys don't know how to get over the line. And, both fans are going to have full belief in their own teams, aren't they? And it's like not very often you see a final where it's split so 50-50. And both teams genuinely believe they're going to be going home and lifting the trophy.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's a bit more maybe belief in the Tottenham fan base at the moment from what I feel like. You hear Neville speaking, he usually, you heard, like, obviously Carragher was saying no chance Tottenham beat Man United in a European Cup final, no chance. And he was like very adamant about it. And you'd feel like that's what United fans probably feel as well. But when you hear like Neville speak, he's like, I've got like a pit in my stomach. I feel sick like thinking about this game.
But even you, right? You were saying you'd rather face Bilbao because you know how Man United just get over the line in these kind of situations.
I said I'd rather face United. I said
I thought you said Bilbao.
No, I said I'd rather face United.
Oh, I thought you said Bilbao.
No, I said there's a case for it. But I said, for sure, I'd rather look, because United, I think, are the inferior team, in my opinion. So I think
they just lost 7-1 today.
I know, but I think, in my opinion, I still think Bilbao are better. And I said, the team have beaten 3 times. As much as all these things, you got to take them into account. The history and all that kind of stuff. I still think I would rather face United than Bilbao in this game.
Wow. or whatever it happens, it's going to be an absolutely mad day. So if you guys are going out to Bilbao, let us know in the comment section below what is your route, because I know a lot of Spurs fans are taking such crazy routes.
Yeah, I know. We did a tweet
to get there. I'm flying out to France tomorrow. I fly out to Lourdes in France. I stay the night there. Then I get a train to Biarritz in the morning, and I'm getting a car. I'm driving from Biarritz to Bilbao Tuesday morning, 2-hour drive. And then on the way back, I am going from Bilbao back to Biarritz, train up to Paris, and then the Eurostar home. That's my route, which is a crazy route, to be fair.
Yeah, it's nuts, and there's a lot of routes, a lot of crazy routes. They've got this guy Bouchan Seth JFK to Madrid to Bilbao to Iberia, there's so many things. This guy, what's called Mikey on Mike's Bird, says West Wales to Stansted to Bergerac, then a drive to Santander for a 2-day drive to Bilbao, then Thursday drive to Bordeaux, a night in Bordeaux, Friday back to Bergerac, then fly to Stansted. Like crazy round trips these people are doing to get to this game. That's how much it kind of means to everyone to get there. Yeah. Planes, trains and automobiles.
Yeah, they've left us with no choice though. The prices are an absolute joke, man. Mm-hmm. Not only just the prices of travel, but the accommodation prices as well. I mean, it's all an absolute farce, to be honest. But look, people are going to get there by hook or by crook. People will swim there if they have to. This is what it means to this fan base to be in a European final, or to be in a final in general. And you know what? People are going to be put to the test now, aren't they? Because a lot of people said at the beginning of the season, I'll take 17th and winning a trophy. And this is the best trophy that we could have won this season.
100%. And I think, look, everyone was saying at the beginning of the season, we should be focused on that Europa League. I think that was the main thing. Obviously, we didn't want us to be 17th at the same time, of course. But I think I think at the beginning of the season, everyone was like, Europa League. That's why I want to win this season. Europa League. That was the number one thing I think for everyone at the beginning of the season. And here we are on the cusp of it. And I think it'll be an unbelievable day. Unbelievable day if we get over the line.
Well, I just want to know from you guys out there, what are your feelings going into it? Because I just don't know how to feel at this moment in time. The closer, like I said before, the closer I get to it, the more nervous I'm getting. I'm getting butterflies in my stomach just thinking about being in Bilbao, being at another European final once again. It's like back before 2019, you're thinking, will Spurs ever get to a European final? Now we're sitting here. In the last 5 years, we've been to 2 European finals, which is mad.
2 more than Arsenal have in the last 10 years.
Well, one more than Arsenal.
One more than Arsenal. Well, we've been to both Champions League and Europa League.
Yeah. They were close, but didn't get the job done. But yeah, just let us know, guys. How was your nerves feeling
how
out
many
there?
English clubs have been to 2?
So Chelsea have.
What, in the last 6 years?
Haven't they won the champ? Well, they're in one now, aren't they?
Conference League. And obviously they won the Europa League that year. We were in the
When
final.
did they win the Champions League?
Yeah, 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Well, yeah. Liverpool, they were in the Champions League final when we got there. Have they been in one since?
Yeah, they lost to Madrid.
So they've been in one since. Manchester United have won the Europa League, and they in the Europa League final again. So a few of them.
United, yeah, but no one's been to. I guess, yeah, no one's been to a Champions League and the Europa League. We're probably the only one. Well, Chelsea, the only one to do that, and us.
Yeah.
But, yeah, all the good clubs, apart from Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we live for, man. This is the moment. This is the time to do the job, people. This is it. This is literally it. And look, if you're going to Bilbao, if you're going to the stadium, if you're going to watch it in a pub, mate.
It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day.
Mate.
Make sure you have the day off, you start early, get together, whatever
Pace
you're doing, get your family. There's a lot going on in Bilbao day before as well. There's all these things going on. All the fans I'm seeing on social media, all the fans are making plans to get-togethers and whatever. There's going to be so many fans out there anyway. It's probably going to be hard to avoid a Tottenham fan rather than trying to make plans to get them together. But
yeah, the way I'm envisaging it is like the way it was in Madrid, where it felt like it was like every 10 Liverpool fans, it was one Spurs fan. And like the way it's been talked about on social media and stuff, I feel like it's going to be the other way around in terms of in favour of Spurs. But for some reason, I just can't imagine it being like that.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to get a, I want the fan park's going to be with a stage and performances on stage, hopefully. Are we going to get a Forms performance, James Black?
I don't know about Forms, but I assume James Black will be there because he was in Madrid, wasn't he, performing on stage? Mm-hmm. So I assume that they're going to do it again. They get Cliff Jones up there again and all the legends.
Get them all up there. Surely got to be some legends in the fan park. Come on.
Yeah, there definitely will be. It's going to be a momentous occasion. Whatever happens in that 90 minutes, just the build-up is going to be insane. It's going to be absolutely insane. And if you guys are out there in Bilbao, hopefully we'll get to see and speak to you guys, and we can suffer together, guys, because the build-up is going to be a mixture of things. It's going to be just like jubilation to be there and get the drinks flowing and sing song and all that. But on the other side, it's just going to be so much nerves, so much anxiety in that build-up.
I saw someone say Tottenham and United are not fighting for glory; they're fighting for survival.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Because with how bad each season, both our seasons have gone, it kind of feels like it's weird going into a cup final trophy. You have to win it. Like losing is like not an option. Usually, for a cup final, it's like it'll be glorious to win it, but like. Obviously, if you it's not I'm saying not the end of the world, but like if you lose it, like it's not going to be the end of your club, kind of thing. But it kind of feels like if we do lose this, it might just be.
We got to be prepared for it, because if we lose it, we finish 17th with no trophy. Like, which way do we go? Like, how do we even get out of the rut that we're in?
Yeah,
this means so much for us, more than just getting a trophy and just breaking that trophy duck. It really does. This game is just insanely big. It really is. This could shape Spurs over the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm. It's a real sliding doors moment. It's 100%. We've already heard the reports of potentially sell to buy if in the summer. I'm assuming we don't get into the Champions League. The money we're going to be missing out on. Plus, not only that, but because we finished so low down, if we lose, all the money we'd have missed out on in Premier League prize money, that we've missed out on, because we've probably missed out on at least 30 million, because if we should really be, if we're finishing 10 places higher than we are, at least 7th, that's 30 million we're missing out on. 3 million per league place. So you got that plus no European football at all. We might have to sell players. You know what I mean?
Well, we all know Romero's probably going to be out the door, but do you mean apart from Romero, above Romero?
I hope not. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll be that bad, but. Like, we know Basuma's going to leave and Richarlison's probably going to leave anyway, so we'll probably get a bit of money there. But I think it just, in terms of how we're perceived, where we're going, so many different things. If we don't win that Europa League, it all can change. It's all down to one game.
Yeah. And how do you feel it is against Manchester United? Because obviously we've beaten them 3 times this season. What is the way to beat Man United? Because we know because we've beaten them 3 times. But is it kind of the reserved approach that we took in the 2 legs, or the 2 second legs against Frankfurt and Bodo, or is it going to be classic Ange ball, pressing high up the front, being a bit gung-ho?
I think the best approach is probably to try and put them under as much pressure as possible when in your pressing, because they got so many mistakes in them. Obviously, on the flip side of that, it is a bit risky, because you probably just leave more space for them, and especially with their wide wing backs. They can, and with Bruno as well floating around, then all of a sudden you leave it open for yourselves to be kind of exploited. But I also think if you get your pressing right against them and you force them into mistakes, I think they can have mistakes in them. 100%. They got a lot of mistakes in them, and we've seen that quite a few times. So I think. If you obviously sitting back against them is a viable strategy as well. Don't get me wrong, because you kind of know then they don't have a great forward line, and if you just like defensively solid, making sure they're not getting any advantages there, then that kind of if you pick your moments like we did in the European games with Porro, all the going along and whatever, then we might comfortably win the game as well. But I think. I think tactically, if you were to tactically analyse how to beat Man United, I think you probably would land on high pressing. I think that's probably what you would land, but we have had more joy not doing that recently. So I don't know which way he probably goes. It's a tough one, but I think when we beat Man United in February, we weren't like so gung ho. I remember it was quite a measured performance. It was like,
which game was that?
we beat them 1-0.
Oh.
And it was like we deserved it, but it was like very much like a measured kind of controlled performance.
Was that one of Amarim's like first games?
No.
No.
In January or February, we beat them 1-0. Madison scored, and he did the what's it called? He did the thing to Roy Keane.
Oh yeah. Do you feel like though the time we've beaten Manchester United 3 times this season, right? Like I keep saying, but Maddison has been a vital part of every single one of them, and Decky, and without them, we're probably going to have to find a different way to win.
100%. Although I was looking, I was watching the highlights of their loss to Chelsea, and I saw the goal that Chelsea scored, and that would be that's like the perfect goal we could score. You know what I mean? It was basically Reece James in that kind of half space, clipping it to that back post, and I think Cucurella was running onto it and headed it home.
Great
I'm
header.
just thinking, you get Richarlison and Solanke in those positions. You got Porro there. We could do that. We could hurt them in that way, 100%. And obviously, the fact that we've beaten 3 times doesn't mean anything really going into the game in terms of each game's different, especially in a final. But I think it will give this team just that little bit of confidence that we know we can beat them. We've beaten them before already this season. We can get over the line, and that will give this. I think psychologically, it should give this team a bit of a boost, in my opinion.
I'm trying to look at that. The last time we lost to them was 2022, in October 2022. Fred and Bruno Fernandes. It's been a long time since we've lost to these lot, and actually, that should give me confidence, but it actually worries me more because this is Spurs Manchester United, and obviously they've got the massive history over us, and you're thinking, how long could this run go on for?
One more game.
God, man.
Why not?
Give me 2 losses against them next season to give us a win here, please. Just get the job done, Tottenham, please. Just for once in our lives, can we just please get over the line?
I think if we can just
Please.
stop Bruno, make sure he's not doing anything to getting too much space, we're closing him down, making sure he's not getting too involved, I think we just go a long way to stopping Man United, honestly. Because I think he's been so great for them, and he's been kind of a player who's been stepping up for Man United in very difficult scenarios this season. I think if we can make sure he's not having such a big influence, I think we know there's going to be chances for us. We know there's going to be moments, and you can, I guess United could say the same. But what I would argue is in this Europa League, we have been defending a lot better, and our defence has been really good against Frankfurt, Bodo, RZ as well. In most when we've had Romero and Van de Ven anyway against RZ. I can't remember too many chances we even conceded. We barely conceded chances in all 3 of those. Whereas United, yes, they won. Don't get me wrong, and deservedly so. You can't sit here and say they didn't concede a lot of chances in those games, did they? They did in each of them. So for me, I think we're defending better in the Europa League right now with our back line.
I think there's been a massive element of luck of how Manchester United have got here. Against Lyon and against Bilbao. Bilbao. I think there's been a massive element of luck of how they got through these ties. Referees have helped them, red cards. They had no right to win that Lyon game. They just had some freak ending to that game where they scored 3 goals in the last however many minutes. Where you look at us, I don't think there's been an element of luck of us getting to where we are. We've had controlled, good defensive displays, and we've deserved to be where we are. Did Man United deserve to be here right now? I'm not so sure.
I think, Sociedad, obviously, I think they deserved it. I think Lyon was touch and go. I mean, it's impressive the way they did come back, but they were facing a Lyon team down to 10 men, and they found themselves 2 goals behind.
Yeah.
They conceded 2 goals to a team with 10 men, which is ridiculous. But then they did end up scoring 3 in 8 minutes, which is it was a once in a kind of 1 in a million thing, but it happened, and that was, you could probably say, a bit of a massive slice of luck. But against Bilbao, I mean, look, they did end up winning 7-1, but I do think how the games went, I'm not saying like they weren't that much better than them, I'm just saying kind of clouds how both games did go, because in that first game they were very much second best for the opening half an hour or so. They could have easily been 1-2 or 3 down. They then get a red card, Bilbao, and all of a sudden they're Bilbao are 1-0 down and down to 10 men in a one fell swoop, and then all of a sudden United take control. The game at Old Trafford, Bilbao take the lead 1-0 up and are a much better team again for 70 minutes. And but obviously chasing a 3-goal deficit. Yeah. They're the better team, and they're 1-0. They're 1-0 up, Bilbao. And then Mason Mount, with 20 minutes to go, gets that kind of killer goal, right? Makes it 1-1, basically kills the game. And then United basically just take advantage of that situation and go and win 4-1 in the last 20 minutes. Whereas most of that game wasn't exactly like United were much the better team. So I agree. It doesn't really tell the full story, that Bilbao game. Whereas we look at Tottenham against Bodo, we were very much dominant. Like, we deserved over both legs. We were just the most dominant team pretty much for 180 minutes. We dominated and we deserved what we got. And it wasn't a case of the game doesn't tell the full story. The result, I think, the 5-1 win over 2 legs tells the full story there of how dominant we were.
Yeah. So, what do you think the score's going to be? What's your score prediction?
I do think we're going to win. But what is the score going to be? I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1. You think
3-1.
It's going to be a big one? I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, actually. I think everything suggests that it will be a high-scoring game, but I just feel like two teams will come into it a bit cagey from the start. I think it's going to be split by the odd goal. I'm going to go for 1-0 to Spurs.
6-1, half a dozen of the other, isn't it, this final?
It really is. Literally anything can happen in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. United can come out and batter Spurs. Spurs can come out and batter. Literally, if anything, whatever happens in this final, it's probably not going to surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so 50-50.
God. Doesn't get any bigger than this. Does not get any bigger than this.
And the longer it goes 0-0, the more the nerves are going to start to creep in as well.
Just looking at those scenes yesterday, all that, I know it's a different situation. It's literally Palace's first major trophy in their lifetime, but
yeah.
Old people who've never seen their team win a trophy, crying together, the happiness it brought that fan base. I just,
why can't it be us?
Why can't it be us?
Why can't it be us?
I was looking at it thinking, I was just watching it thinking, this is going to be us somewhere. I just had this belief just came in through me at that moment. Like, this is going to be us on Wednesday. I just believe it. I just believe that. Watching that, I was like, I just got this feeling that is going to be us on Wednesday. It's our time. This is our time.
It's the year of the underdog this year.
It is. Something we just got a super chat about it. Where is it?
Because you talk about the year of the underdog. Even Liverpool weren't favourites to win the league this season. They've won the league. They were kind of the underdog.
Jordan Maldonado says, it's the year of the broken trophy drought. Let's not screw this opportunity up. Let's put Arsenal more in the mud. Safe travels, boys. Big up. And it is the year of that broken trophy drought. And it is the year of the underdog. Everything seems to be lining up. And I guess it's classic Tottenham for all the underdogs to win, but Tottenham. That is how we do things. But I don't know. I've just got this belief that I know we all are nervous and we all have PTSD from so many failed, false dawns, failed kind of final wins and slipping up when it really matters. But maybe this is going to be different. How many times? Look, it's surely just theory of probability at some point.
It's got to go for you.
Law of
averages.
It's like at some point, it's got to go for you. You know what I mean? Why can't we get a bit of luck? Maybe we'll get a dodgy penalty in the first minute on Wednesday. Maybe they'll get a bullshit handball.
I'm praying for that.
Come on, one time, just once. Fall for us, the gods. Have we not prayed hard enough? What are we missing? Why don't you hear our prayers?
I've said it before. No matter who you pray to, whether it be Buddha, Allah, Hashem, Jesus, whoever, whether you're an atheist, just make sure you try all different avenues coming into it. Just see what sticks, guys. Surely one of them is going to be right. Surely. So just do everything you can, voodoo if you have to. Just do anything that you can that can sway the power into Spurs.
Get a Bruno voodoo doll.
You know what I mean? Just anything that you can, man. Come on.
Anyone
this
got a lock of
gotta
his
be
hair?
our time. This has to be our time. This has to be.
Come on.
I'm not having it any other way. This has got to be our time, people. Please.
Come on, feel it.
I am just
Believe
like
it.
on my hands and knees, people, to bring us this trophy, please.
God.
Oh,
So it would be unbelievable. What a day. And now just again, from Rito, what a massive day it would be. Just like, this is the biggest trophy of our lifetime, it would be. Bit of first European trophy in 40 years. There's so many Tottenham fans out there who haven't seen Tottenham lift the European trophy before.
Yeah.
So many.
yeah.
And this would just be an incredible day for everyone.
Yeah, so I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs. Sim's going, what did you say?
3-1.
3-1 to Spurs. Let us know in the comment section below what your score predictions are. This is the last match preview before the big day on Wednesday. Like I said, I travel out tomorrow. Sim travels out on Tuesday. I think some more content will be coming out for you guys tomorrow with Sim in the studio just before he leaves. But oh man, I don't know if I can take this build up from now until Wednesday, 8 o'clock kickoff, man. I don't know if I can take it, but it's what we have to go through. And we've been through so much crap and so much shit football. It's time for us to be rewarded.
Exactly.
It really is, man. All these games that we've had to sit through, the Villa game, the West Ham game, the Forest game, like all these games over the past 6 months, man. Surely we're going to be rewarded. Surely.
At some point. This is like, you know, there's got to be a payoff to all this pain.
You know what
there
I
has
mean?
to be.
And
I have to believe that.
And there hasn't been since 2008. It's been a long
No
time
payoff.
coming.
No payoff. It's like, what are we in? Season 30 of Tottenham Hotspur, or whatever. However long we've been supporting them. Surely it gets good at this point.
Manifest it, people. Manifest it, people. Manifest it, people. Spurs are bringing home the Europa League trophy on Wednesday night. But that is your match preview.